me today is Andrew Rice, Senior Vice President of private equity firm, the Jordan Company. Andrew, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Paula.
Pleasure to have you. I would like to just start out by asking you what the M&A space looks like in China these days, and how is the Jordan Company approaching it?
Okay. We've been in China since 1994, and we've done almost 30 deals in China. And in the last year or two, the deal activity is increasing. However, the number of firms looking to invest in China has also increased dramatically, especially RMB funds, which are the domestic China funds. There are 4,000 or 5,000 of these funds now in China. They have a lot of money, and it's a real challenge for us because they tend to bid much higher than the foreign private equity firms do, and they often do a lot less due diligence. And so where we're very successful are helping our U.S. portfolio companies expand to China, where we're looking for add-on deals, because in those cases we bring more than just the money to a potential company in China, and when they see that partnering with one of our companies that is a leader in the U.S., following their customers to China, there's a lot more value added. We're very successful in those situations. In fact, that's actually our primary focus. We also look for standalone deals, and those are more and more difficult. It takes us a lot more effort, but we'll probably do, one or two of those sort of deals a year. But it's a lot of hard work due to the competitive situation.
Okay. What makes the standalone deals more difficult?
Well, as I mentioned, the competition. If you're an owner of a Chinese company, we come in saying, hey, we've done almost 30 deals, we understand China, we can add value, we can help you expand, and we're going to want to pay 6 or 8 times EBITDA, and some other local renminbi fund, private equity firm, was willing to pay 15 times EBITDA, all of a sudden the cash up front means more to a potential seller than partnering with us, where over 5 or 7 years we're going to work to improve the business, add value, etc. I think there will be a shakeout with these RMB funds. It's just a matter of being patient. Our senior partners are advising us not to lose our discipline, not to overpay for deals. And it's just like in the U.S. If people are overpaying, sometimes you need to sit back and let other people do those deals. And then when things get back to reality, then you jump back in. So,
where are you seeing the opportunities? Is it certain areas in China, certain industries?
Obviously, if it's a U.S. portfolio company going there, those industries look good. For standalone deals, we're looking at healthcare, we're looking at online education, anything having to do with infrastructure we're looking at. And the thing about China is that there are many industries where if you look at all of China, it might be overcapacity like cement. Overcapacity. There's way too many cement companies just building for the Olympics, building highways, etc. You look within certain provinces, there's overcapacity, and yet within a province there might be a region that has a shortage of cement companies. And so if you're looking at a company that's in the right position, that's serving the right area, because it's very local. You can't ship cement a long distance because of the weight. It's expensive. And so having a team that can sort out those individual opportunities makes sense. Another example, a theme we're looking at, is take the building of the highway system. It's like the U.S. 40, 50 years ago. When the government builds highways connecting the inner cities, there's all of the opportunities to help build those highways, cement, the steel, the engineering services, whatever. Once it's built, then, okay, you need gas stations, you need McDonald's, you need hotels. Along the way, there'll be industrial parks built, so there's all the services associated with that. There's travel agencies being built because people in China realize that, hey, if I get a car, I can drive with my family to go on vacation And so there's auto parts, the auto industry, the whole thing. So we look at broad themes and then try to look at areas within that. And as Wayne Gretzky used to say, I skate to where I think the puck's going to be, not to where it is. And so a lot of our investment thinking is, where do we see the markets going in a few years? And then start looking at opportunities there. Another theme is urbanization. The government's trying to get more and more people to move from the rural areas into the second, third tier cities. And there's opportunities in, high-rise buildings, consumer products, et cetera, et cetera. So those are some of the areas we're looking at.
Any surprises that you've encountered in the past couple of years?
One of the surprises is the growth of these R&B funds. It has happened so fast with so much money that it's still very difficult for foreign firms to partner with local governments to set up their own fund. There's a lot of restrictions and rules. Most of our surprises are very firm specific. One I like to talk about is that we looked at a company several years ago that had about 1,200 employees, and we did an analysis that we wanted to be down to about 600 and then add another 100 or 200 very specialized factory workers. And we worked with the government and got pre-approval to let some of these people go. We're going to pay them all 3 or 4 years severance, which was very generous at the time. And we got all everything approved in advance. So we bought the company, and then 6 months later we started to implement this. The people that we decided to give early retirement or whatever were very, very happy. The workers that were not let go went on strike, saying, wait, why did you should have let me go. So-and-so is much better than I am, whatever. And that was a big surprise. So luckily the government went in and we got the head of the labor folks in the city where this was going on, and he talked to the union and said, no, you don't understand. Usually it's the people that feel that they were let go and it wasn't fair and all this and that, but you're going to have an opportunity to grow. And some of their arguments were, but now we're going to have to work harder, and just things like that. So that was kind of a surprise.
Interesting shakeout of things.
Yeah.
Sure. Can you talk a little bit about what you think has differentiated the Jordan Group in terms of your success in China, and any advice you have for other investors?
Sure. We're one of the first middle market private equity firms to expand to China. And what I mean by that is we have a dedicated Jordan staff that helps operationally helps our companies with sourcing, with developing sales and marketing. When we make investments, they help with all the legal accounting, market research. When we set up operations, we help them actually get all the approvals to build a new building or to implement operating changes. We help a lot with the accounting, putting in proper procedures and controls, and things that the Jordan folks learn helping one company become best practices that we can apply to another one of our companies that has similar issues they want to deal with. And that's a pretty big commitment on not only our deal team, but our local folks on the ground. But also, I travel there every 1 or 2 months. Several of our senior partners travel to China regularly. Jay Jordan, the leader of our firm, he goes there several times a year. And we've been doing this for 20 years. So we have a full commitment which separates us. A lot of private equity firms, if one of their portfolio companies has an opportunity to expand to China, they're not as active. They sit on the board and they'll say, yeah, that's a good opportunity, go for it, but they kind of leave it up to the operating companies to do it themselves. And I think most of the successful private equity firms that have expanded in China have committed to building an operations support team and built that commitment. And I think that's more important than ever these days.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.